Hello, friend. I'm Reverend Ric Beattie. I'm the senior minister at Unity of Royal Oak in Royal Oak, Michigan. And it's an honor to share this short meditation with you. And I'm going to begin by reading, with the permission of Unity, who publishes Daily Word, the Daily Word for today, Wednesday, August the 18th, 2021. And I love the theme of this. It's thoughts. That's the key word. And the affirmation is, my positive thoughts create my world. My positive thoughts create my world. I create my life through the power of my thoughts, my thinking. My positive thoughts bless my life with peace, prosperity, and wholeness. But sometimes I may experience more discord, lack, and ill health. Rather than worry or wish things could be different, I return to my thoughts. That's a very key point in this philosophy for living we call Unity or New Thought. If you're worried about something, if you're thinking about something, don't dwell there on what you're worried about, because you get more of it. It's primary, the law of mind action or the law of attraction, however you understand that to be, it's a fundamental principle. So if you're dissatisfied with your current demonstration, the current place in your life where you find yourself, bring your attention to your thinking, to your thoughts, because the law of mind action says that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind in consciousness, and then out of that consciousness we create a demonstration. We take an idea, a concept from divine mind, and we cloak it in substance. Charles Fillmore called it, our co-founder, which I would just use the word energy. We give it oomph. We give it vibratory energy. We focus ourselves there, and we bring something into form. So I may experience, but sometimes I may experience more discord, lack, and ill health. Rather than worry or wish things could be different, you can wish all day, right? Wish all day. I return to my thoughts. I accept the conditions I see, but keep my thoughts aligned with a more enduring truth. We know that the world that we can see and sense with our senses is ever changing. Think about how much recently things have changed. Some days I feel a little bit dizzy trying to keep up with what's going on now. And whenever I get into that place, I bring my awareness back to my thinking. And I look around my world and I see that everything is good in my world in this moment. And in this moment is where life is happening. And in this moment. And in this moment. So we bring ourselves back. I often call it, I represent myself. I come back to me. When faced with chaos, some of us have been dealing with that, I affirm, the peace of God is mine. Just the peace of God is mine. If you can just say that to yourself, aloud or silently, and notice how you feel. The peace of God is mine. The peace of God is mine. When confronted with insufficient supply, I affirm, I am part of God's abundant universe, and all of my needs are met. Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith has an affirmation that I love. He says, all of my needs are met, I shall not worry anymore. Now you may have to grab onto that thought 50 times, 100 times, it doesn't matter. Grab onto the thought, your mind may wander off, bring it back to the thought. It's really not that much different than meditating. The mind is going to wander, a noise is going to happen and interrupt you. Just bring yourself back to your breath, follow the next breath inward. The mind wanders off, just bring it back and remember, I am part of God's abundant universe and all my needs are met. If I feel ill, I affirm, I am made in the image and likeness of God and I am whole. I am whole. Do you know that you're whole and holy, just as you are? No apology needed or required. Nothing to be forgiven about. Only that we've sometimes forgotten who we are, and we forgive ourselves quickly as we remember. I am so grateful to keep God in my thoughts. Whatever's going on, let your mind focus on God. In fact, the crazier it is in the world around me, the more I'm focused on God. And I bring myself back over and over and over. And the Bible verse for today is from the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 29, verse 18. O Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, our ancestors, keep forever such purposes and thoughts in the hearts of your people, and direct their hearts toward you. So keep us focused on you, God, and help us, direct us back to you when we wander off. And who hasn't wandered off a hot minute lately? So I'm going to start some music, and then we're going to start a meditation. And this music was written and produced by our creative director, Kim Lange, and it's called 6 Degrees of Meditation. So I invite you just to become aware of your body for a moment. Because sometimes we're racing around and running around and we forget ourselves. We come back to our bodies, come back to ourselves, to our spirits. The more noise in the world, the more I feel pulled by various things to focus some attention there, the more I value the time that I meditate. Lots of ways to do it. The easiest way is just to notice your breath. Because it's an interesting phenomenon, the human mind. We can change what we're thinking about very rapidly, but we don't truly multitask. Your mind can only hold a thought at a time. So if you give your mind something to do, which is to pay attention to your breathing, you can get into the space between the thoughts. You can get into the gap, some call it. I call it love, I call it God, and I call it good. So just notice your breathing. You don't have to force it. Breathe in any particular pattern. Let your breathing train you to be aware of your breath. How do you feel? As you take a deep breath in and out, allow yourself to begin to relax. Another deep breath in and out. Relax. Relax into an awareness of love's presence in your life. Relax into the stillness of this moment. Relax into the joy that you are. Breathe and exhale. And allow yourself to continue to relax by noticing your feet. Begin a scan of your body from your toes right on up to the crown chakra, stopping any place that you encounter any stress or resistance, any tension. And now I'm going to invite you to follow your next breath inward. To whatever place within you that you imagine Christ is enthroned. The power of the I Am is within you and all around you. God is both immanent and transcendent. And I invite you to open up your heart and your mind and allow yourself to be in the presence for this time. And if anything should disturb you, a noise, your cat or dog, or if your mind should wander off, just bring your attention back to your breath and follow the next breath back inward. For meditation is a turning away from the outer and toward the inner world, the inner life. And follow your next breath inward a little bit deeper into this meditative state of mind. And while we remain in a state of meditation, I invite you to summon to your mind any condition or circumstance, person or place that you would like to wrap in healing light and love. Just hold an image in your mind. And allow your love energy to wrap a blanket of love around that person, place, thing, or circumstance. I'm thinking of many people on our prayer list, Tammy and Debbie, farmers in the West. And today I'm holding all who are charged to make decisions for us about safety and particularly in terms of the coronavirus. I'm blessing all researchers who are researching and learning about this virus. Thinking about all those and blessing all the ones who are dealing with extremes of heat and either too much rain or no rain, the two extremes. And in my mind, I'm holding an image of the scales of balance. And I see in places that the things seem to me to be out of balance, I watch in my mind and I see the balance restored. I use the power of my imagination and the power of faith. I call upon zeal and enthusiasm in me to help me take an action step, if there is one. And now let us just hold in our minds the people of Afghanistan and people all over the world dealing with conflict. Here in the US or in the desert, doesn't matter. And we remember that we are all one and we are connected. And as we reach out in love, we bless and add a blessing to each other. And we take care to manage our judgments. And Father, Mother, and everything, God, we, by our very presence here in this moment of meditation, with our minds and hearts focused on you and on our thoughts, we choose wisely what we think about. We think about ways that we can be a blessing, that we can be healers, that we can be light bearers, carrying light into apparent darkness. For darkness is a no thing. Our love can dispel darkness. And we allow ourselves to remember that we are in God and God is in us. Thank you, loving, laughing Spirit, for this truth that right where we are, you are. So we hold our beloved planet, all of its people, all of its creatures, all the life here. as sacred and safe and holy. And we give a blessing. And so it is. Amen. So I hope that you have found a moment to reset yourself. Sometimes it's this meditation, might be a walk, could be a piece of music. Find many ways to bring yourself back to your presence, to your center, to your core. Some of us are very sensitive to energy movement, and including me. So I have to do that quite often to bring myself back to center. We're delighted that you have joined us. I'm delighted to share this meditation. I love to do what I do, particularly as a pastor. And if I can support you in some way, if I can encourage you, send me an email. My address is Ric, R-I-C, there's no K, R-I-C, at unityofroyaloak.org. And let me know that you've connected and ask me a question or for some resources, and I will point you in a direction. And you can find out what we have going on here at Unity of Royal Oak on our website, which is www.unityofroyaloak.org. You'll find our schedule, the calendar. We have a picnic coming up on this weekend. You can also find links to the current CDC guidelines to deal with the coronavirus and their recommendations. It's not been a mandate, but there are some recommendations that may be useful for you. There's also a button there and a menu pick says donation or donate. And if you are moved by Spirit to contribute to this ministry, this work, we're grateful. And we're grateful for your presence either way. We know that as we give, we receive. Not always in the same kind. The scripture says we don't always reap in the field we sow in. But when we sow our seeds of good, of love, of life, then that's what we reap in another form. And as you go out into the rest of your day or your evening, remember that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever you are, friend, God is. All is well. Namaste.